that way. Oh.
Hey there, I'm NJ4Z, Section Manager for ARRL in South Carolina. Today we're at Pleasant Knoll Middle School in Fort Mill. We have an upcoming ARIS contact, so the pass for the ISS will start about 12:10 p.m. on Eastern Time, 16:10 UTC. So we'll have a program beginning here in about 30 minutes. We've got several stations set up. We've got a station for HF, we've got a station for UHF, VHF, a satellite station, information booth for the students to take information back to their parents. And we also have a CW Morse code booth that we're teaching the kids Morse code. So we've got two trailers and outside with masts and antennas for the satellite pass here, so we're looking forward to it. Should be a lot of fun. So thank you for joining us. Again, I'm John Jenner, NJ4Z, part of the York County Amateur Radio Society, and also the ARRL Section Manager, South Carolina. So enjoy the show. Very similar to the way that we're doing
Yeah, so no, so this is International Morse code. It's all the But
go emergency.
Faking them out. So
Let me guess, they're faking you out. Well, what do you got? Well, you
Yeah,
So mine, yeah, my press release worked.
attention in 3, 2, and 1. Thank you, Nighthawks. Good morning, Nighthawks students, staff, and community. We are so excited to have our entire Pleasant Knoll family here as we get to host this extremely special opportunity. While math, science, English, and social studies are very important, this event is the type you remember when you get older. After much preparation, today we will make contact with astronauts on the International Space Station. Today is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. And less than 1% of the schools that submitted applications were selected for this program. And we are one of them. Go Nighthawks. Thank you. During this assembly today, we will be conducting a real-time interview with an astronaut currently on the International Space Station. Students, during this program today, we need your attention, your best behavior, and lastly, for you to be quiet during this assembly. We want all of our students and staff to be able to hear both the questions and the answers from the astronaut. There will also be moments of pause as we set everything up and make contact. However, please wait patiently as we connect with the astronaut. We are excited for us all to participate in this program, and we want everyone to enjoy this event to the fullest. Countless hours of work went into this event today, weeks, months, lots of hours. I would like to say a big thank you to Ms. Kilowitz and her club for the hard work in making today happen. Thank you, Ms. Kilowitz. I would also like to thank ARIS, NASA, and AMSAT, ARRL, ESA, and York County Amateur Radio Club for their dedication and help in arranging this opportunity. Without their teamwork and help, we wouldn't be able to have this event today. Just like Neil Armstrong said, the search for knowledge is what brought men to the moon, but it took knowledge already acquired to make it possible to get there. It is a knowledge It is the knowledge you are learning in middle school today that will set you up in your future, Nighthawks, and maybe one day, you too will become an astronaut. Students, once again, please give our guest your full attention today and remain quiet as we make contact with our astronaut in the International Space Station. And please be patient, we're gonna check that as we change the batteries in our microphone.
Hey guys. Okay. Okay, we're done. 3, 2, 1. Let's try again. Here we go. Happy Earth Day. What a huge deal this is happening on Earth Day. So I'm Miss Kilowitz, if you don't know, and I teach 8th grade science here at PK. Last year, I attended an ARIS conference in Georgia. ARIS stands for Amateur Radio on the International Space Station. At that conference, I learned all about amateur radio and their partnership with NASA to provide the opportunity for students to interview an astronaut on the space station. I knew right away that I wanted to bring that opportunity to you guys. So when I got back from the conference, I wrote our school's proposal. Then I just crossed my fingers and hoped. A few months later, I found out that our school was chosen. Like Ms. Husted said, less than 1% of schools that apply are chosen. So y'all, today is a big day. Once we were selected, I decided to create an AR at PK Club, Amateur Radio at Pleasant Knoll. These students applied, were interviewed at the end of the school year. They had to give me teacher recommendation forms. I looked at their grades, and then they were chosen for this club. We started the year talking about the difference between analog and digital radio technologies. We also researched different types of antenna used in amateur radio. This antenna here, which some of you have seen, is an Aero dual band Yagi using an Arduino board to track the space station in real time. So make sure you keep an eye on that thing once we make contact, because it's going to be tracking the space station. Then, our club moved our efforts to space. We started by researching different experiments being conducted on board the International Space Station. We decided to give hydroponics in the classroom a try. We grew a variety of herbs, mint, parsley, dill, chives, in only water, and it worked. They all grew, and they all survived. A few months ago, we started compiling a list of potential questions to ask our astronaut. We narrowed down the list to what they will be asking today. You're going to get to listen to us talk to Matthew Dominic, NASA's SpaceX Crew 8 commander. It launched on March 3rd and docked on the International Space Station on March 5th of this year. So he has been living on the space station 48 days so far. They're not scheduled to return to Earth until September, so he'll be there for 6 months. The International Space Station was first launched in 1998, which was the year I graduated high school. Since then, over 260 people, representing 20 countries and 5 international partners, have visited the space station. Did you know the ISS, not Mr. Hilton's ISS, the International Space Station, travels 17,500 kilometers per hour, which is 11,000 miles per hour. Hard to fathom that fast, right? And it orbits 250 miles above Earth. It circles every 93 minutes, so it completes 15 and a half orbits every day. And on the screens, you're going to be able to watch it track. So you see the shaded circle with the plus sign? That's the space station heading our way. So you'll see it. I'm excited about this contact, and I hope you guys are too. But first, we're going to watch a few video clips.
Parks on the air calling CQ 20 meters.
NA1SS, this is N2SJ, over.
NA2SJ from NA1SS for scheduled contact.
Hi everyone, I'm Tim Peake and welcome aboard the International Space Station, where we're orbiting Earth 16 times every day. One of the most rewarding activities that some astronauts undertake on orbit is to talk to schools using the space station's ham radio. Now these are events that are planned by ARIS, which is a worldwide group of amateur radio volunteers who are dedicated to introducing young people and students to science, technology, engineering and mathematics. Now this is the equipment here in the Columbus Laboratory, which consists of a handheld radio, a headset, and we also have a ham video unit. Now, as the International Space Station orbits above your location, a radio link is established between the ISS and your school. Now, because we're traveling at nearly 18,000 miles per hour, which is an incredible 25 times the speed of sound, we usually get about 9 or 10 minutes of good radio contact before losing the signal. So about 5 minutes before the scheduled start time of the contact, I come into the Columbus Laboratory and configure the radio so that I'm on the correct channel. And sometimes I'll set up the ham video too. Just before the predicted time, I begin to start calling the school using the standard amateur radio calling techniques. For example, if the call sign of your school was GB4 Fun, I would say Golf Bravo 4, Foxtrot Uniform November. This is Golf Bravo 1 Sierra Sierra, listening and standing by. Now at your school, the radio operator will be listening for my call, but may also transmit and try to call me as well. You'll probably have a much more powerful transmitter on the ground than we have up here on board, so I'm likely to hear you before you hear me. Then, once we can hear each other, then comes the best bit, which is actually talking to the students and answering the questions. Once I've answered all the questions, we use the remaining time to say goodbye to each other and end the connection. I'll then spend a few minutes configuring the radio back into a rebroadcast mode, and then I'll go back to my day job, which is of course doing science on board the International Space Station. ARIS is a brilliant opportunity for astronauts to talk to school pupils. It's really rewarding to hear how excited the students are when they're talking to somebody up here in space. And it's a true privilege to be able to inspire our next generation of scientists and engineers through amateur radio.
Hi, my name is Ruth.
And my name is Chris.
You must be pretty excited to talk directly with astronauts on the International Space Station today. While we're waiting for the space station to come over your portion of the sky, let's talk a little bit about how it's going to happen. Of course, Mission Control is in contact with astronauts all the time, using a big radio with lots of fancy equipment.
However, we're going to be using something very different today. We are going to use ham or amateur radio to talk directly to the International Space Station.
When most people hear the word radio, they think of a music radio station, but it's so much more than that. Radio actually refers to the unseen energy that transmits all sorts of signals using electromagnetic waves. At first, people learned how to send signals like Morse code, and then they discovered that you can send so much more, like data, computer signals, and even TV.
Maybe you don't realize it, but you use radio every day. Maybe you watched the TV this morning, or you texted your friends, or maybe even you check social media like Twitter or Instagram.
Let's travel back to space for a minute. Since the beginning of the space age, humans have sent many spacecraft out into the universe. These range from the Hubble Space Telescope, orbiting the Earth daily, and the Curiosity rover exploring Mars. We've even sent a long-distance messenger, the Voyager 1, who has traveled outside of our solar system.
Whether it's capturing a great picture of a far-off galaxy or conducting experiments on the space station, radio has to do with all of these. And today, you're going to be radio. Now you might be wondering, what exactly is ham radio?
Amateur or ham radio is a service and a hobby where operators can talk with people around their neighborhoods, their cities, their country, and even around the world. Amateur radio operators require a radio license from the government. They're not that hard to get. I have one. My call sign is KM4LAO.
And mine is KD8YBJ. Our call signs are a way of identifying who we are to other operators. This lets everyone know that we have the proper license to using the radios.
As amateur radio operators, or hams as we are often called, we can talk with others about basically whatever we want, often science or some new radio gadget that we are interested in.
Let's focus back to the space station and your contact today. Many of the astronauts and cosmonauts aboard the space station are licensed ham radio operators. That's why your operators today can contact them. The people here, as well as the astronauts, are licensed to talk to each other, and you are allowed to talk over to their radio.
For our conversation today, we'll need an amateur radio station on the ground, either in this location or somewhere else around the world. We'll also need a radio in the space station.
NA1SS, NA1SS.
You can hear the calls coming. This is November Alpha 1 Sierra Sierra, the International Space Station, over.
On the space station, the radio transceiver is connected to an amateur radio antenna mounted on the outside. One of these antennas will be used today during our contact.
For our side of the contact, we need a good-sized antenna, a signal amplifier, something to make our signal stronger, and a rotator for turning our antenna. We have to keep our antenna pointed right at the International Space Station. And remember, it's moving across the sky and fast.
To aim the antenna properly, we need to track the path of the space station exactly. NASA uses complex systems to track the path of the space station and other orbiting objects.
The satellite tracking program we are using works out a complicated set of mathematics to provide the orbital location of the space station moment by moment as it moves through space. This information is sent into the computer that controls the antenna rotator, which moves the antenna to follow the space station. Maybe some of you have seen or worked with robotics. That's pretty cool stuff. And just like you can program a robot where to go, what to do, and how to get there, you can also program a computer to tell an antenna how to track the space station across the sky.
You know, it took a lot of planning to get this contact. Several weeks ago, the ARIS operations team had to figure out when the space station's orbit would pass over this location. Then, they had to talk with the planners at NASA's Johnson Space Center. The cruise time is pretty full, so they were able to find a time that could work for the crew members' schedules. Once they found times that would work both in space and here on the ground, the host organized this contact. And in just a few minutes, you'll be hearing and talking to the astronauts.
Well, it's almost time for your contact. It will be exciting, so good luck with it.
I am most excited for the future of spaceflight, for an inflection point that I feel is coming. If you look at the history of civilization and various inflection points, things just kind of take off. I am NASA astronaut Matthew Dominic, commander, NASA's SpaceX Crew 8 mission to the International Space Station. I grew up in Wheat Ridge, Colorado. I was the oldest of two brothers. I had two parents that were amazing in that they encouraged my curiosity. Growing up there in the Rockies and the outdoors, there were so many things to go and do and see. I've always wanted to explore and satiate my curiosity for the world around me. And so I just kept pushing throughout my life. I joined the Navy because I wanted to fly airplanes, I wanted to go fast, I wanted to test airplanes. And so astronaut for me was just the next logical step in life to keep going and keep exploring and keep pushing myself further in terms of intellectual curiosity about the world around me. I've been at NASA now for about 6 years, and I'm super excited to fly in space. Working and training with Crew 8 is absolutely awesome. We have a diverse group of academic and intellectual backgrounds that come together, and also an international component. It is such a blast to watch the crew grow as we started training over time, to watch that team dynamics develop as we get ready to launch. We're starting to see what makes each other tick, what's important to each other. I view Crew 8 like an Olympic torchbearer. That's where I see Crew 8. We are a torchbearer on that path to the Olympics that are going to occur in the future as we move humanity forward. We're going up there to relieve Crew 7, Crew 9 will relieve us, and we are keeping the flame of space, human presence in low Earth orbit, alive. If you're a studier of science or statistics, you know that you always want to have a big N, and that just means sample size, to understand the thing you're studying. So just launching 1 or 2 or 10 or 15 people to space leaves you with a very small sample size. So every time we launch 4 more people to space, we're building our sample size and our understanding of the human body and the things that happen to it in a zero-gravity environment. That sets us up to go to the moon. It sets us up to go to Mars. Many folks think of NASA and they think we're using crazy cutting-edge technology and all kinds of adjectives and superlatives to make space work. There's no smoke and mirrors, there's no magic. It is just hard work through the laws of physics and basic material science to get us into orbit. That's the magic. We are part of a massive team of people that need to continue continuous human presence in low Earth orbit and not letting that flame go out. We are line soldiers on the ground marching to make sure that this continues. And just being a small part of that and continuing that is what's important.
Subscribe for more space.
Well, I'm loud. I've got a teacher voice. That Matthew Dominic, that is the guy we're going to talk to today. Okay, we're pulling up another video. Thank you for being patient.
live in an age of amazing technology. But for some people, just being a consumer of off-the-shelf gadgets isn't enough. If you're bored with this and looking for something more exciting, why not take a trip around the world at the speed of light?
Delta Kilo 8 Lima Golf, this is Mike X-Ray 0 Sierra Whiskey. Okay, thank you Frank for coming back to my QRZ call. My name is Adam, as in Alpha Delta Alpha Mike, Alpha Delta Alpha Mike, Adam is my name.
We all love to communicate. Amateur radio takes you beyond being a mere gadget user. It challenges you by putting you in charge of the technology.
The bit that always interested me in the amateur radio was always the construction. One of the big things I've been interested in constructing is using the Raspberry Pi in amateur radio, because as a small single board computer it has a lot of potential, a lot of opportunities.
So we're building a radio receiver.
Okay.
And so I'm just on the part which is the demodulator.
This is a hobby with hundreds of different ways to have techie fun. Using this simple ham radio transceiver and a good antenna, you can talk to other amateurs around the world, and you can do it from almost anywhere.
I'm at a portable station.
The radio signals you transmit travel around the world at the speed of light. No internet connection or mobile phone signals are needed. Just your own skills as a radio ham.
I'm 11 years old and I'm about to do the foundation license here in England. Over.
I got into amateur radio really to get a greater understanding of technology. I spend so much time on my phone, on laptops, and really have no idea how any of it works. It was a really welcoming experience for me, a really great community, and really easy to actually do. In disaster situations, when normal communications are out of action, amateur radio still gets the message through, which is why many hams belong to organisations that train their members to provide emergency radio links when needed.
I like the practicality of being able to send a message and know how to get something out to someone under your own steam, so kind of making it yourself. And I'm very interested in being able to do the electronics, being able to build things, being able to be self-reliant in communication. I think that's really interesting.
It's great fun talking to other hams in unusual and sometimes exotic places around the world. And beyond. The International Space Station carries ham radio gear on board, and there's always among the crew to use it, such as Commander Doug Wheelock.
I've really enjoyed using the ham radio and talking to ham radio operators all over the world.
Radio amateurs around the world also build and launch their own satellites, and hams anywhere can use them for space communication experiments, and of course to chat to each other.
Golf 1 X-Ray India Echo.
Golf 1 X-Ray India Echo, Golf Bravo 1 Yankee Oscar Tango America. Afternoon, 5 and 9. We're using SA-50, which is an FM transponder satellite, which was going over from about west to north, around 70 degrees elevation.
When computers and radios come together, there's a whole bunch of new opportunities for hams to connect by radio, sending text, transmitting pictures or real-time video, even displaying data from an amateur radio satellite orbiting the Earth.
Mike 6 November Yankee Kilo.
CQ, GB1 Utah.
I got started in amateur radio because I'm a girl guide leader and I wanted to take up a hobby that I could do with my brownies. The interesting aspect of amateur radio is that you do learn how it works, and you get to communicate with loads of different people, find out about different areas of the world. You learn a bit more about the science and how it works, and you have a much more profound understanding of a technology that is going on all around you.
In amateur radio, sport and radio fit together well too.
I'll take another bearing in a minute because I don't trust that.
These guys are trying to locate hidden radio transmitters, racing against each other and the clock. Amateur radio is a fantastic hobby for anybody who loves technology. I've only really been involved in the hobby for a really short amount of time, and I've been speaking to people all across the world. It's a really, really inviting community. One minute you're speaking to somebody about amateur radio, and it leads on to so many other discussions about other different technologies you may not have even thought of. So if you do get a chance, come and join us.
All right, guys. We hope those videos helped you get a little bit more information about what we're about to do. So we are now, this is live. You cannot control science. Okay, so we are in a hold time to wait for the International Space Station to come up where we can communicate. So we're about 10 minutes until we need to call in to 10 to 15. So we're watching. Everyone look up there. Do you see it? You see, we're looking, we're gonna go over to Charlotte, Fort Mill area, okay? So we know middle school. It's hard to keep you quiet. I appreciate what you've been doing. So we are gonna let you whisper to your next door neighbor, left or right, up or down, but we are not screaming left and right. When we come back on, we will get you guys all quiet to then talk to the astronauts. Sound good? So we got about 10 minutes. It's holding. You need to stay in your spot. It is not a bathroom break. Stay seated in your spot, please. Thank you.
I'll start getting up. Yeah. Okay.
good.
Okay, guys. 3, 2, oh, no, I didn't even have to count. Okay, y'all, we're about 3 minutes away. So the space station is approximately 2,200 miles away. It is 251.5 miles overhead high. We're tracking, so we're going to be quiet for the next like 2.5 minutes till the space station gets overhead. I'll keep giving you updates. No, y'all, this is quiet. Thank you. Okay, so we're watching the shaded circle. That's the range. The plus is the space station. We're watching it. Get closer. Okay, heads up. There's going to be like a squelch noise, is that what you called it? A high-pitched noise. Don't be alarmed. It's us making contact. Once we make contact, he'll bring the volume down and it won't be so loud. Currently, 1,800 miles away. Remember, it's going really fast. It's going 4.3 miles a second. $1,600 miles away.
I'm in 7th grade. And what is the consistency of your food and how does it taste? Over.
We have a wide variety of food up here from all of our international partners. We have Russian food, we have European food, we have food from Japan, we have food from the United States. We have a tremendous selection of food. About the only thing we don't have is anything crunchy. We don't have anything crunchy up here because it creates crumbs and those float off and make a big mess in space. They don't fall to the ground like it's easy on Earth. But other than that, we have a wide selection of food and it's pretty doggone good.
Hi, my name is Jacob Patchell and I'm in the 7th grade. My question is, are the vegetables you grow up there as good as the ones we grow on Earth? Over.
I have not been lucky enough to be on station when we grow vegetables. Some previous missions do that. You should look up Frank Rubio online. He was growing some tomatoes about a year ago. Over.
Hi, my name is Bridget Kara. I'm in the 8th grade, and my question is, what happens if you get sick? Over.
Well, if we were to get sick, we actually are lucky enough right now we have a medical doctor on board, Dr. Michael Barrett. He's my crewmate. But all of us are trained in basic medical training, and ideally we just never get sick because we're in quarantine. We quarantine 2 weeks before launch, and there's nobody who could infect us, so we just don't get sick. Over.
My name is Kendall Silly, and I'm in 8th grade, and my question is, how do you go to the bathroom? Over.
We have a special device to handle that. It uses a fan and it brings in air, so it makes your body waste go in one direction. So when it comes out of your body, it gets sucked into this device, and we separate the water from the solid, and we're able to drink the water the next day after we filter it. Over.
Hi, my name is Monica Goday. I'm in 8th grade, and my question is, if you can't shower, how do you keep yourself clean? Over.
We take water in a squirt bottle, and we squirt it onto a washcloth, and then we rinse ourselves with that, and we also put a little soap on and rinse it. But we basically take baths with water and washcloths. Over.
Hi, my name is Debajita Chatterjee. I'm in 8th grade, and my question is, what is the most unexpected thing you have learned during your time in space? Over.
Oh man, that's a tough question. There's so many unexpected things. But, man, that's tough to break it down. Really, it's just, for me, I knew keeping track of things would be in zero G would be hard, but not as hard as I thought. Things are always floating away from you, and they never seem to go where you expect. Over.
Hi, my name is Medha Samala, and I'm in 8th grade. The main purpose of the ISS is to conduct scientific research. What are the main science experiments your crew is currently performing aboard the station? Over.
We're doing new experiments every single day. I would say that the main experiment is tough because I've got my hands in a glove box where I'm doing experiments all the time. But if you really ask, I think the main experiment is us. We are the experiment. The more people we put in space, the more we learn about the human body in space. So really the main experiment is us, the humans. Over.
Hi, my name is Sophie Rossi, and my question is, what advice would you give someone who wants to be where you are? Over.
Simple. Go do in life what you love because you'll end up being really, really good at it, and we need all kinds of people to come up here to help us. We're in space, we have people live, we have people that manage it, we have scientists, engineers, everybody is needed up here. And so just go do what you love, and then you'll always be happy because you'll never feel what you're doing is work. Over.
Is artificial intelligence used on the ISS as of today? Over.
That's a good question. Artificial intelligence is a giant can of worms to open. Topic first, you got to define exactly what it is. We use all kinds of statistical math to predict things, and especially with the data analysis that goes back to Earth. So I imagine some researchers on the ground are using machine learning and very entry-level artificial intelligence to discern and understand the data of what we gather on the space station. Over.
I'm London, and my question is, what games do you play? Over.
I like to play practical jokes on my crewmates, especially if a crewmate's floating by and they don't know it. They don't know I'm there because they're just floating by. You can just push them with your finger a little bit and then they just stray off course and careen into the walls. It's a lot of fun. Over.
I'm Moksha. What are the long-term effects of being in space? Over.
So many long-term effects of being in space on the human body, and we've been working really hard to fix them. One of the long-term effects used to be on our bone density. We used to lose a lot of our bone, but we have a special training device up here now, and we're only on average losing between 1 to 2% of our bone density on a 6-month mission. Over.
My question is, what is the first thing you plan to do when you return to Earth? Over.
Well, there's a lot of things I want to do when I return to Earth, some of which will be get out of my spacesuit, because I've been wearing that for a few hours. But I'm really looking forward to giving my kids a hug and jumping into our pool. Over.
How do you communicate and maintain contact with your loved ones on Earth? Over.
I like to say that we are the satellites, so we have satellite communications. In fact, our satellite, which we're on, the space station, communicates with other satellites, which then beam it back to Earth. So we're bouncing signals off satellites to get back to Earth, and we've got pretty good communication, including some pretty good, decent internet. Over.
Good afternoon. Could you tell us one everyday thing that has become easier to do in space than on Earth? Over.
I just really enjoy everyday things not falling. If you ask my wife on Earth, I drop things all the time, and when I let go of things on Earth, they don't fall. So it's really, really nice. Over.
It's Kendall, and my second question is, how do you recycle your water? Over.
Oh man, NASA and other engineers from around the world have built a great water processing facility up here. So our urine is processed back into drinkable water. Our sweat and the water from towels in the air goes through the air conditioning system and gets condensed and then filtered, and we drink it again. Over.
What is your opinion on space tourism? Over.
What is my opinion? I think a rising tide raises all boats. The more people we get into space, and no matter how we do it, is a way to expand humanity into the solar system and move us into being a multiplanetary species. So bring it on. Over.
Hi, my name is Medha. How does the perception of time and space change during a prolonged space mission? Over.
For us, a sunrise and a sunset, we get a sunrise every 90 minutes and a sunset every 90 minutes. So sometimes it's 1 in the morning and my body's very confused when I'm sitting by the window and I'm looking at a bright sun. So getting your circadian rhythm in track is very difficult for me up here. Over.
What is something that surprised you that you didn't expect about living in space? Over.
I think you're still with us. So many things surprise me, but kind of like the question before, it's just so easy to lose things because they just float away. Sometimes you really just want gravity holding something to a surface so you can have the normal force there with the coefficient of friction keeping it where it's at. Over.
Again, do you think we will find evidence of life beyond Earth? Over.
I do believe we will find evidence of life beyond Earth. I think we'll probably find some small microorganisms. Intelligent life is a much more difficult topic because it's just so much harder to occur. I think that intelligent life likely exists in the universe, but it's just so far away we may never find it. Over.
Thank you, Mr. Dominic, for your time today. I know these students are grateful for this opportunity.
Had an absolute blast talking to you guys today. It's an absolute privilege for us to talk to the space station. In fact, it's a good break for me. My other crewmates are over there working really hard. In fact, I'm watching Jeanette Epps work really hard right now, and I'm just getting to run my mouth on the radio. So I'm having a blast, and thank you so much.
Thank you. Over.
That was awesome, Ms. Kilowitz. Thank you guys so much, students, Nighthawks. Thank you for your attention today. That really meant a lot. I don't know if many of you knew this, but this was live streamed. You guys did a great job listening. What an experience here for your club. Thank you guys here. We'd also like to thank ARIS, AMSAT, NASA, ESA, and YCARS. You will remember this experience. You may not think it right now, you will. This was awesome. There's people from the community that wanted to come in here and watch with you. Obviously, we have a full house with you guys. It's super important for us to have experiences like this. So, way to be part of the Nighthawk family. We are going to dismiss. Let's give Ms. Kilowitz and all the other organizations around the world one more time. Alrighty. Unfortunately, we do have to end this and resume our normal day. 6th grade, please hold for a second. Let me get this all out before we leave. You guys are going to exit this door with Mr. Carey. 7th grade, you guys are going to hold. We're going to Related Arts after this. 8th grade, you guys are going to return upstairs, get your lunch materials, and go to lunch. Please dismiss from the front to the back. Go Nighthawks!